looking. Ooh. What? Sorry, Swan, I didn't mean to laugh at you. Good morning. I'm not actually at the allotment today, you might have guessed. I'm in Gunnersbury Park. I've got a hand warmer because it's absolutely freezing cold. And look at this. I've spotted my first snowdrop of the year. Look, can you see just on the end of my finger there? Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, so I've never actually been to Gunnersbury Park, which is silly. It's just on the other side of the river from Kew Gardens. And I've been told that somewhere amongst these buildings here is a pretty random museum of local stuff. That's a bit of a clue, isn't it? I should have just looked up, really, shouldn't I? But look, free entry, join the fun. But yeah, this park is pretty close to Ealing Film Studios, and so there's loads of random movie paraphernalia in here. None of the movies seem to be connected other than the fact that they were filmed at Ealing. And top marks to anybody who can tell me where this chap is from, which film this chap is from, in the comments underneath. We'll see how many people get it. Gee, there's some gorgeous little models of sets down here, aren't they? Beautiful cardboard models. We're also really close to the Bees Stadium here, which is Brentford Football Club, who are flying at the moment in the Premier League. So they've got lots of paraphernalia from Brentford Football Club, but also Mo Farah for some reason. But these gorgeous little Brentford Football Club fixture lists, they're so sweet. Look at that 1985 final at Wembley. So going along with the movie and football stuff, there's also quite a lot of things that have come out of the Thames around here. So this chap is a lower Paleolithic hand axe, which came out just down on the river at Brentford. And above that is also an Iron Age sword, which came out the same bit of the Thames down just at Brentford Dock. Look at that beauty. This really is a magnificent building. It's really strange because half of it is sort of museum that's full of stuff, and half of it is just these beautiful empty rooms that you can just walk around and look out the windows at the lovely grounds outside. Oh, we've got a load more stuff that's come out of the Thames down here. Look, so loads and loads of hand axes from all different periods. Some of these are really, really old. Number 8 is a mace head made of antler. And look at this, number 11. Isn't that beautiful Neolithic axe head? So what's that, like 4K, 2K BCE-ish? Absolutely stunning. Yeah, and those little flint arrowheads, they're so cute. Load of Iron Age stuff here as well. I'm particularly fond of these coins. Beautiful little chaps. And then a load of little animals. It's so cute. Okay, I'm itching to get outside now. The sun is pouring through the windows and I want to go and explore outside. Just walking around the back of the museum, look at this. Look at this. It's basically dream house. I mean, the house is quite unattractive in itself, but look at that archway of apples. Doesn't matter what the house looks like. And look, there's loads of outbuildings and like a netted tunnel and chickens even up there. Oh, loves. What I could do with that patch of land. Look at this. Look at this. Daffs out. Well, not out, but nearly out already. Look at that. Give it another week, this will be daffs. Hooey! It's a smidge early, isn't it? Well, we have drifted Osterley way, and somewhere in these fields, Google Maps assures me, is a garden centre, and it's actually the Osterley branch of the British Garden Centres, the people who very kindly took me to that Garden Media Guild Awards dinner thing. And apparently it's over there somewhere. Whoa! We made it. Right, okay. Let's see what it's all about in here. First things first, pretty random. There is a lot of old school Routemaster buses parked out here. I guess they are for hire, you know, to do parties or weddings or something, but my goodness me, would I love one of those buses. I mean, perfect. You could live in one of them, no problem, could you? Downstairs, bathroom, bedroom, upstairs, open plan kitchen, sitting room. Yes. Only problem is I can't drive. so it wouldn't be that useful. But still, come on, love one of them. But red bust swooning is not what I'm here for. Okie dokie. God, primroses flowers are out already. Loads of little pots of bulbs. Love these things. It's not a cheap way of buying bulbs, but they really are beautiful. Loads of them. They've got irises and loads of these daffs. Who have we got in here? Oh, February Gold. So February Gold is a fantastic one. We've got some of them under the fig tree. And they're so nice because they're so early. Like when you're still in midwinter, you get a burst of daff in your face. It's wonderful. My word, they've got a lot of potato varieties. Look at this. What have we got? They've got all like the bog standard ones like Desiree, Charlotte, King Edwards. But there's also some unusual ones there. We've got Blue Danube, Salad Blue, Bambino, never grown that one before. Gee, this is a really, really impressive potato selection. Maris Pia, Caroline, wow. Nicola, Casablanca, Pentland Javelin. They've just, and then that's only the small selection. Then they've got them in big all across here. That is really, really impressive. And look, there's more of them. We got Mozart. What's that one? Lucera. Classic Red Duke of York Swift. Wilger. Acoustic Premier. Maris Bard. Harry, never grown that one before. Bluebell. Unfortunately, I'm on foot, and so I'm not going to be walking away with kilos of potatoes, but still, wow. I'm eyeing up their dahlias though. I still haven't made a decision on the dahlias, so I'm not going to buy anything today from here, but I think I'm going to be dragging Mum back here because they have got a really good selection, and she can bring the car. Yeah, there's some absolute beauties. Quite excited about choosing the new dahlias. But huzzah! White Narines. I've been looking for these for ages. Fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. This place is enormous. Look at this. Right, so we've got all the flimsy greenhouses for sale, and yes, my beautiful quarter green pots are here. Joy, 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 joy. Okay, thank you. It's actually huge in here, I didn't realise. From the outside it doesn't look that big. And now I found the seeds. Flowers, flowers. Look at this joy. I'm going to have this one. Going to have it. Apple blossom, Californian poppies. You're coming home with me, chaps. And also underneath I've got the Cerinthe, which I have been looking for. So that's fab. I'll take that one too. Also looking for toad flax. I'm sure they'll have some somewhere here. Toad flax? Actually, there's loads of vegetable seed here as well, but I haven't gone through my vegetable seed for this year yet, so there's no point me starting buying because I will be doing duplicates, which is what happens every year. Oh, step away from the tools. Step away. You're not carrying a spade with you across the fields, Jessie. Okay, I'm done. I've got pots, I've got seeds, I've got narines. I'm happy. And on my way in, I did notice that there happened to be a pub next door, so even better. Super slippery up there. Super slippery up there. It's because I went up here. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Lil has already found me on the path up here this morning. She's busy leading me towards the allotment, as per usual. I'm up here on my own this morning, actually. I mean, obviously, apart from Lily and the girls, because Mum has gone out for lunch. she's being a lady of leisure today. So it's just me up here in the glorious sunshine. I cannot believe how lucky we're being with the weather. I mean, I know it's outrageously cold. I've jinxed myself, all of that talk of that we barely get any frost around here. I mean, it has been ridiculous again. It's like gone down to -5 again, which is just craziness. But, you know, I'm hoping we're going to have a really cold winter and then a really fantastic spring and summer and all the rest of it. Anyway, yep, so I'm on my own up here this morning. Not sure what I'm going to do, actually. Like I said, the ground is absolutely frozen solid, which is not something we're really used to. So, I don't know. I'll have a look around, see what I can do. Hello, where you going? Door's here, love. Door's here, love. I don't know. She's whizzed past. Anyway, the fig tree, looking a bit tidier since I sorted it out. Still need to do the edges, actually. Haven't got on with that. Can't do it in this cold. It's ridiculous. The grass just goes to mush. You coming back? Come on. You got fluff in your mouth? Yeah. It's not good, is it? It must be very difficult being that fluffy woman. Right. Okay, yeah, I can hear you, girls. I can hear you. Yep. Chicken love, chicken love, chicken love. Hey, girls. Rabbit? What's going on under there, Brad? Oh, how lucky are we being with this weather? We've got huge sunshine under here. I'll try and find somewhere a little bit less startling. It's so beautiful, and it's really not that cold. Like, I've got about 10 layers on at the moment, and I'm going to be taking some of them off any second. Oh, it's beautiful. Right, let me go and sort them girlies out. I'm so impressed that they're laying again. I thought we'd be waiting till spring. Right. I'm gonna go and have a look at the perennial brassicas and see how not perennial they're looking. Right, how's it going, sad chaps? Oh, yeah, that is pretty sad looking. So that soggy ended number there is one of the tree cabbages. This one at the front here, also a tree cabbage, but looking absolutely fine. But I've heard from so many people since I showed this that their brassicas have done exactly the same. They've just rotted off at the top, and we're talking purple sprouting broccoli, and these tree cabbages, and lots of perennial kales and things. It's just unexpected. Like, it's never happened to me before, and people seem to be a bit surprised all over the place. But yeah, bit pants, chaps, bit pants, but at least we're all suffering together. I know it's not just me that this has happened to, at least. And I am still optimistic that they're going to sprout from the bottom when the weather gets better. Hey chaps, come on. So I've got a number of these troughs and bits that I've been collecting, and this is what I'm going to be growing the garlic on in. Despite my apparent and unfounded confidence in having onions directly in the ground, I'm not going to do it with the garlic. I'm going to plant them into compost to try and avoid the white rot. And this polystyrene tray is the first one I'm going to plant up, so I'm just going to have a look and see how many I can actually fit in there spacing wise, and then I'll know how much compost I need to buy. I've got 2 different varieties growing on here in the greenhouse, but now they're quite well established. I mean, they're about 3 inches tall. I really do need to get them outside, so getting them into the troughs is paramount. 18. I can get 18 garlic plants in this trough. Unfortunately, I've only got 1, so the other ones I've got are much smaller. I should be able to get 6, maybe 9 in them. I've got loads more to get out. So that's the one that I had upside down last week. It's finally sprouting. This one, oh no, it is rooted. That's quite well anchored in there. So it is about to do something. That one's coming along. Then I've got these chaps, and then this is the second variety, which I think is the Casablanca on that side. So I've got to find space for all of these and get compost for them. Mum's been raking leaves as well, leaving them in the wheelbarrow for me. So I'm going to take them up, get them in the leaf mould bin. I might do some more raking because in this little section here is our, I mean, it sounds very pretentious, but it's the white garden. It's where Mum likes to put white bulbs. So we've got, actually we do have, sorry, the kids are screaming. Let me just go inside. Is that any better? Yes, so we've got quite a lot of white things in there. Oh no, now we've got the sunshine. Is that better? We've got quite a lot of white bulbs in there. We do also have a couple of like pale primrose coloured daffs. And obviously we've got the really dark hellebores. But mainly, Mum's been trying to collect white stuff in there. And so those nerines that I picked up yesterday are going to go in there too. So do that today, but I need to clear out a lot of the leaves that are under there first. So, okay, bit of leaf clearing and then some bulb planting. So I decided to add some more nerines, these are the white ones, because we've had such a amount of success with the pink ones. So we were given maybe, what, 10 bulbs? Quite a few years ago, to be honest. But it really wasn't that many, and we've just kind of stuck them in under the apricot tree, and when they got too many under there, we moved them to the other flower bed. I don't know if you remember them, but they flower really late in the year, so like after everything else is gone, suddenly you get this wonderful display of nerines. And so I'm going to stick these white ones in here, but because I know how easily they spread, I'm assuming the white ones are the same. I'm going to plant them rather than together so that they look nice the first year. I'm going to plant quite far apart so that we end up with 2 clumps. But just as I was taking those leaves off, there's so many bulbs coming up in here. I'm quite pleased that I can actually see where they're coming up, because we've got these huge clumps of Canaliculatus on this side, so Narcissus. We've got the most beautiful, or I think the most beautiful little Narcissus ever, that are just about to flower. They're just starting off now, so they are absolutely magnificent. All of, sorry, I'm tipping forward on my kneeling pad. That's why I'm looking uncomfy. What was I saying? Yeah, so, and all the mint is starting to come up, the hyacinths are coming up. There's garlic chives here which have survived. This is a hyacinth, that's a white one coming up. There's some daffs behind, don't know what that is. We have a white Aquilegia in here. These are the Canaliculatus, which is a really small narcissus with a white main petals and then like a really dark trumpet. Hey girlies, they're beautiful, aren't they? Yes, yes they are. But you can see in the background there's just loads of bits and pieces coming up in here, most of which I can't remember what they are. Hellebores are budding up. Looking over, in fact, there's one over here which is actually already flowering. It's been a bit ripped and shredded, but still beautiful. And this, boys and girls, is my Arctic Bells Narcissus, which I'm biased maybe, but I think they're just to die for. They're so gorgeous. And then we've got mint coming up, which is just starting to sprout in the bottom there. It smells wonderful. I need to chop it back actually. This bed is looking really quite exciting. In fact, it's looking like it's trying to pretend it's spring and not January, but still, I'm gonna get these nerines in. Oh, that looks so much better. Given that area a really good tidy, it'd become a little bit of a dumping ground. And I've cleared the netting off here because the majority of those onions are actually up. Actually, I've just realised you can't really see from up here. But there, look, you can just see little green dots everywhere. I hadn't realised so many had come up actually. Yeah, I've just been, doing all that raking and now I've stopped. It's absolutely freezing. Sun's gone behind the trees now, so it's about 3:30 and it's blooming chilly, isn't it, Lil? She's a pretty girl, she's a pretty girl, she's a pretty girl, she's a pretty girl. It's got cold, isn't it? Hey, Bunny Rabbit, it's got cold all of a sudden. Oh, sun's gone in. Yeah, she completely agrees. It's a bit cold. So I'm going to put you away, girly whirly woos. I am, whirly girlies. And give Lily some dins and then close everything up, head home. But yeah, I got quite a lot done in clearing up here today and some good additions to the leaf mould bin. So yeah, not a wasted day. And I got to just potter around in the sunshine, listen to an audiobook and think about what's happening in spring. Think about where to plant everything. I've got so many beds, and when I sort of start, like levelling it out in my head where everything's going to go, the answer is I don't have a clue. But we're going to go and pick up some potatoes tomorrow, I think, from Chapmans. So exciting times ahead, boys and girls. But I'm absolutely freezing all of a sudden, so yeah, I'm going to lock up. You ready for some treats, girlies? Morning, we are off doing some shopping before we head to the allotment. Yeah, so Chapmans in Twickenham for potatoes, but we are just going to nip round to the allotment shop that we joined last week, if you remember, and pick up a couple of bags of manure, so we can take that up with us today as well. But potatoes, so the selection that they had at Osterley was magnificent. I mean, it was vast. But what I do like about Chapmans is that they sell them loose. And if you want to just try, you know, growing 2, 3, 4 of a particular variety and get more different varieties in, you can, rather than having to buy them pre-packaged, where you're kind of, the amount you're getting is preset. Don't slip on the ice. Potatoes. Yes, chaps, it is that time. It's potatoes. Got well excited looking at the potatoes at Osterley yesterday, but like I said, we couldn't buy them singularly. So we've actually already got the Red Duke of Yorks, which are the ones that we're going to plant in the bed. We're going to do a whole bed of Red Duke of York. We're going to use half of them as like a first early, so dig them up at proper early for smaller potatoes, and then we're going to leave the second half of the bed as lates, because you can have them as lates too, and they make the finest jacket potatoes. So we've got the Red Dukes already, that's going to be a whole bed, and all of these ones are going to go into bags. So it's just a case of what we're going to have. It's a couple that I've got sorry, I'm just looking at the different things. Don't even know if they're going to have them. So there's a couple from last year that we really wanted to try again. One of them was British Queen, which was absolutely delicious. Kerr's Pink we've grown the last 2 years. First year it was magnificent. Second year we didn't water them enough and it was at 40 degrees and we didn't really get much. We got like 2 potatoes from them. Put 2 in, got 2 out, but they were good. So yeah, we got Kerr's Pink, British Queen, and then we're just going to have a look at the rest of them.
Girlies! Yes, come on up here to say hello. Come on, up you come. Come on, all the way up. All the way up, come on. Pretty girls. Come on then, up you come too, Flo.
I'm supposed to be feeding you. I'm just grabbing it out of my hand.
Okay, right, I'm going to go down and get the manure from the car. Yes, action stations. It's probably going to take me a couple of trips, but still, it's quite cold. I left the leaves in the wheelbarrow last night, so I've got to empty that first before I can take my trusty steed down to the car. actually really pleased with the amount of leaf mould we seem to be making this year. We've been really on it with raking up the leaves, which is good for the paths because the grass doesn't rot underneath them, and also we get leaf mould, which is fandabby-dozy.
Coming in a bit further. Yeah. Okay, ready? Pull out. Much easier than doing it yesterday. Much easier. Yeah, it's a bit hard to do it by yourself because we don't have. Oh,
So the addition of a mulch at least once a year on all of our beds of horse manure, like I say, every year has probably been the biggest change to our growing practice here in, God, I can't even think how many years. And it has made an enormous impact on the quality of our soil. So I've said so many times before that our soil is basically just sand. I mean, in the middle of summer, if you're watering a bed with the hose, all the soil just seems to wash away and you're just left basically with a bed of sand. But the last, I think this is going to be our 3rd year, we have been putting 2 80-litre bags of compost on each bed once a year. And our beds are 2.4 metres by 1.2 metres, which is roughly 8 foot by 4 foot in old money. And although we did used to put manure on there before and other things like leaf mould and stuff, we never put it on in that quantity. And just giving it this really big whack of mulch once a year has transformed the soil.
okay. Let's do it again.
The only problem is hefting it up here though, because we don't have access with a vehicle. But still, you know, it's worth it. And especially now we're buying it 2-4 bags at a time rather than 50.
When you're walking up it, that slope really doesn't seem like very much, but when you're wheeling stuff up it, it seems like it gets incredibly steep. Right, well that's really good that we've got 4 bags of this up here now, because we can start thinking about where it's going to go first. And I think for the next couple of weeks, for the next couple of months, we just nip down to that shop and pick up, you know, 2-4 bags a week, and we'll make some real progress up here, I think, rather than having to do one massive delivery and then store it. So I think that's going to be tick. Obviously we haven't brought the potatoes up here because they're not ready to be planted yet. Mum is currently chopping away. We have a plot that is between owners at the back of us. The guy who had it before has left and are waiting, and there's a blackberry along our edge, so she is currently tackling that, and Lily is watching her intently. And I'm not sure what else we're going to do actually. It's quite late. It's like 3:30. What I do have to do is pick up some pots because I've got to pot up those chilies at home, so I could do that. It's quite a nice temperature up here. I don't know if it's actually a nice temperature or I'm just really hot from wheeling that compost and actually it's freezing, so we'll give it a couple of minutes and see. I can hear you girls. I can hear you. I think all this sunshine, I mean, most of the time that they've been in the lockdown has been crappy weather, and now that we've had a couple of days of beautiful sunshine, they're desperate to get out. I would say I don't have the heart to tell them that they're not going to be out for a couple of months, but even if I did have the heart to tell them, I don't know how well that communication would go. How are you going?
Good, no?
Bit prickly?
Bit, because it's all this thing here.
It's a mixture of bramble and gooseberry, isn't it?
Yes.
Just a real whopping.
It's one of these blackberries that what they do is they send this thing out and then the one goes in and then it grows a new one.
I know. They're a pest, aren't they?
Yes.
Cucumbers, or snake cucumbers, chilies. I really should have potted those cucumbers up way before, but they look like they're doing all right. They've got loads of like really good second leaves on them now. So, I mean, once they went under the lights, they stopped growing like crazy. So I did like just arrest their growth and they just started putting on leaves. So I'm going to get them in there this afternoon and I'm going to pot up some chilies. It's terrible now. I'm feeling really excited about getting stuff done. Like those little, the little daffs that are coming out at the bottom down there, just makes my heart sing. They're so beautiful. But like the ground is frozen. I can't do anything. I feel a bit overexcited and there's not really a great deal I can do. If I start trying to do anything like digging anything up or clearing anything, it's just going to cause more damage because yeah, it's just too cold. The rhubarb chard that I've got in really needs to come out. We do need to put that manure down, but I don't know which beds we're going to put it down on yet actually. So I want to get going and I can't, basically, is what happens to every gardener in January. I'm just crouched down here with my face in the bulbs, basically getting overexcited, and which means total inactivity. And now I've got cold. Serves me right. Cucumbers, right, I'm going to pop them up into these pots that I picked up at the allotment this morning. Oh, I'm so cold. Luckily I actually kept the compost in the sitting room from last time I was potting things up, so it's quite warm. It's not going to shock the poor old cucumbers too much. But right, they should be absolutely fine. They're going to be buried up to their necks, or at least how deep I can get them into that pot. So it's probably not going to be right up here, but maybe like here. Okay. Quite good roots. So I haven't actually put any compost in this pot beforehand. I'm just dropping the cucumber right into the very bottom, and then I'm going to put the soil around its stem and being really careful not to kind of squeeze it around the stem, so I'm not going to damage it at all. Squeezing the compost down around the edges of the pot, but just not around the actual cucumber itself, so I don't damage anything. But yeah, so these are how far my first lot of experimental cucumbers have gone. Anybody else who's trying it, how are your cucumbers going? Did they turn into snakes like mine? I've actually sown the other set. So these were the first ones I did, and then I realised they'd got a bit overexcited, and so I sowed another lot, and they're not up yet. I only sowed them the other day, so we're waiting for them. But yeah, so tell me, give me updates on your cucumbers. And also, I'd be interested to know what varieties it is that you're trying. So these are Socrates. These are the same ones that I did last year. But I know that like you've got other varieties of cucumber. I'd be really interested to know which ones end up working and which ones don't. So let me know and keep me posted. Okay, I think that is these two pretty much done. I'm going to give them a water and stick them back under the lights. Okay, fab. Right, I am done for the day, I think. I'm absolutely freezing. I think I'm going to have a bath to warm up. But I'm glad I got them done. The chilies are going to get potted up for next week's vlog. That is going to be done for those. Right, okay, warmth. Warmth is what I need. Bath and a cup of tea. Cheers, chaps. What a weird week. Such a strange experience to have such beautiful weather. I mean, it's been just clear blue skies, magnificent. Well, you saw it. Don't know what I'm telling you. But then it'd be so cold that you can't actually do any gardening. Like, I'm not used to that. I'm often like held off from the garden because of rain, but it's never normally this cold. And if you get a beautiful, bright, sunny day, like the first thing you do is race outside and got loads of jobs to do. And there's never normally a patch in the winter where we can't do anything through cold. Can't do anything because it's absolutely soaking wet outside and miserable, yes, but not frozen. And it's such a weird thing to have like beautiful weather and want to be outside but not actually be able to do anything.
And then it just makes you really excited about sowing seed, and I'm trying to hold off on the seed. I'm not doing any tomatoes until February. The calendar has to say February before I open that tomato seed box properly and start sorting them through. So holding off on that front. And yeah, it's just been really weird. And even now, like, it's just, I'm looking out the window, it's just frozen solid. Everything's frozen. Serves me right for saying, I think it was on Potty Mouth Garden Club. It would have been probably one of the first few times I was on there. So middle of last year, I thought, yeah, we don't get frost. We barely get a frost. Sometimes we get a bit of a dusting. -8 later. Yeah, it's been a weird one. Let's just hope it means we're going to have an amazing spring. Yeah. Oh, I was pretty amazed that the temperatures are so low, and yet the daffs that were out at Osterley Park, I mean, they were really close to coming out. Some of them just had like the little slip of yellow on the side where they were starting to open, you know, so yeah. Gosh, but next week it's supposed to be thawing. Yeah, so it's Sunday evening now, and on the what's it called, weather forecast, it says that by Thursday we should be out of the freezing temperatures, and then by the following weekend it's going to be up to 10. So there's like a band moving across England at the moment, so areas where it would normally be like a lot colder than us are really starting to warm up, and we're like the bum of England, the southeast, it's just like holding on to the cold at the moment. So by next week we should be defrosted and wet and soggy, but at least we can do things in the wet and soggy, although you're not actually causing any damage. So yeah, that is what next week is looking like. Slightly warmer and clearing stuff. So clearing the chard that hasn't made it, and doing all bits and pieces like that basically. Yeah. But yes, it was a weird week this week. It was beautiful and yet no action. Next week is going to be not beautiful, loads of action. Yeah. So once again, ladies, cheers to the Monday clubbers. If it is a Monday afternoon that you are watching this, happy Monday. For everybody else, happy Tuesday, or whichever day of the week you are watching this. It's clearly a day for a cheers. So yeah, cheers, chaps. This is my dead classy drink, by the way. Oh yeah. I'll see you next week, chaps, for action.
Get hacked.